I'm just not 100% there that you're my forever person.
Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Up. Today we're talking Farmer Wants a Wife, the finale.
Is that what we're talking? I think we're talking Farmer Picks a Girlfriend.
Yeah,
that's really what we're talking here.
That's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah.
They're not proposing.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, will you be my girlfriend?
Right. It's like they're back in freaking middle school or some shit.
But here we are, and Ashleigh is in Alaska with her crappy internet connection.
But it is actually better today than it has been the past several times.
All right, so let's get it started. We're starting off with Nathan. No,
we're not.
We're starting off with Brandon.
That's where it starts.
And he's talking to his pappy.
Yeah, talking to daddy. Dude, and it's so funny, man. You look at these two, and it's like they're twins, but 30 years apart. You know what I mean? Their voices sound the same, their mannerisms are the same, and everything, man. They're like spitting image.
Yeah, and he doesn't care who Brandon is. He's like, I don't care who you choose.
He's my son.
Just get out of the house.
I love him no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And one day he'll have his own farm.
So, of course, his dad's supportive, and he doesn't care who he chooses as long as Brandon's happy. And he'll love either one.
That's right. Exactly.
So, but he has a choice between Emerson and Grace.
Oh, dude, this is so simple. Like, when they first came out, man, the smile he had on when Grace came out and all that stuff. And then, like, when Emerson came out, he didn't have that same energy and that same smile. I was like, all right, obviously he's picking freaking Grace.
Yeah, and now going to our poll, it was really close. This was the closest one of all of them, and 49% chose Emerson, 51% chose Grace.
Yeah.
So
I chose Grace.
I chose Emerson on this one.
I also chose Grace.
You go, that's right.
I liked Emerson because I just thought they had more fire going on.
Yeah, but in the beginning they did, right? But then it like fizzled out, at the end. We didn't see any of that anymore.
That's because Joy got in the way.
Yeah, she kind of did.
So he meets up with both of them, and it does that thing where they did last season where it goes back and forth. He's talking to Grace, and he's talking to Emerson. He's talking to Grace, he's talking to Emerson. Who's he going to choose?
Yeah. And that's the way to do it, right? I hate it when they just, they talk to the first girl and let the first girl go, and then which they did a couple times in this one. That's just dumb. It's like, go back and forth.
Anytime they just show the first girl, probably ain't getting chosen.
Exactly. So. Exactly.
But yeah, he says he just didn't have the emotional connection with Emerson.
Yeah, it was all physical, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
At least in the beginning it was anyway.
I mean, I chose Grace. I'm glad he chose Grace. I agree. I think he was following his heart on that one. As far as how they filmed it, or at least how they showed it to us, I was fine with that.
Yeah, no, the big question though is it gonna stick? Is it gonna last? Because like he said, man, she's definitely social butterfly. Likes to have her friends around, her family around, and she ain't having that out there in the middle of nowhere. So.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, it's hard to predict. I wouldn't think it's gonna last just because she seems to have hesitation about being in like a rural area.
Mm-hmm.
So and can Brandon provide all the entertainment himself? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Well, as far as that being isolated and away from a family when she's a social butterfly, there's probably some appeal to that. But as someone who has been away from their family for a little while, there is an appeal to it. But once you get in it, you realize how much you miss your family and miss your friends and your social life and everything. And I do think that that's going to be an issue for her, for sure.
This one doesn't really end. It doesn't give me that like, hey, we're madly in love. It's kind of like, we'll see where it goes kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know. I don't see the spark between him and Grace, really. That's my concern here. I think Grace is cool, but where's the spark?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out on the reunion.
Yeah. So then we go over to Mitchell, and he has to choose between Sydney and Kait. And these are two beautiful women.
They're both stunning, man. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah. And I just, for this one, I kind of got the sense that Kait already knew. And Sydney already knew.
Oh, yeah. It absolutely seemed like Sydney already knew. Like, the way they were talking and stuff, I was like, is this like the third time they've done this take? And I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Some of these did feel forced, like pretend to act surprised when they tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
And Sydney just seemed like she had it in the bag.
Yeah. It definitely seemed like they'd filmed that like 3 or 4 times trying to get the right take, and this must have been like the third or fourth one where both of them already knew what the hell was going to happen. So it was weird.
Yeah, and according to our poll, most people chose Sydney at 69% and then 31% with Kait. And I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think so.
Percentages
Kait just took a while to kind of get on his radar and get to that point. But Sydney had always been on his radar and was always his number one. You could tell. So
Sydney's a good fit, right? She fits on the farm. She fits the lifestyle. She's going to be a great fishing buddy, hunting buddy. I think he said, what do you want to do? Like, what's the first thing you're looking forward to? And she's like, let's go fishing. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not entirely certain it's him that she's excited about. It's his lifestyle and his farm life and what he has to offer that she's excited about. So not that I don't think she's not attracted to him or anything like that. I don't know. Where her heart is not where it should be, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think it kind of is. And yeah, I mean, she's absolutely attracted to that lifestyle. There's no doubt about it. But I think she's got some attraction to him and stuff,
Yeah, Mitchell says he just struggled kind of with the connection with Kait. And I do get, like, early on, that's true.
Right.
But I felt like the connection was growing near the end.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
And I mean, although I think Sydney's an excellent choice, and that's probably who she chose, I found myself kind of rooting for Kait just because she kind of came out of nowhere and then started to build on that. And I like what I saw there, too.
And his mama wanted Kait,
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he's not a mama's boy. I don't know.
That's right.
So, but yeah. And then, like, Kait takes off her heels and walks off.
That's right.
She's like, I'm done with this.
Out.
So, but yeah, like I said, Sydney seemed to already know what was going on.
But there's been no, so far on these first two, there's really no bad emotion. Like neither one of these, girls cried, right? When they, they didn't get chosen, they just walked off. They're like, okay, well, I enjoyed being here. It was a great experience. And
and
there's
Kait,
no tears over it.
She got out of the car. She wasn't smiling. So I almost felt like she knew it was coming, or maybe it was bracing herself for it. And she kind of felt it too. And I mean, you had to know that those two had a pretty strong
absolutely.
connection.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. She probably knew it was a long shot. She knew damn well the kind of connection he had with Sydney from the get-go. So
yeah, she even remarks that she was looking for a real man. Got lucky with Mitchell.
Yeah.
So how'd you know she got lucky? Maybe Mitchell was turning her down.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Well, it was like everything she was saying there, it was almost like she knew she had in the bag. Sydney did.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this ain't right, man.
So he covers up, as he always does, and gives her a kiss and carries her off to the horse stall.
That's right.
The real test. He's like, all right, clean up this shit. It's time to get to work. So then we go to Ty.
Well, hold on. What'd you think about that, Ashleigh? What's your take on that?
I don't have a take on that. I scratched my head.
Ah, well, shit. You raised your damn hand over there.
So we go to Ty. And, of course, he has Melody and Megan.
Yeah, now this was like the only surprise really out of the whole damn thing, man. I mean, we all called it, right? All three of us were like, this guy ain't gonna end up with any of them. And we were right. It's not quite the reason we were thinking, but,
Yeah, and as far as the poll, the numbers come in 21% for Melody, 79% for Megan. And I kind of get that because Megan seems like the safe one. She's made it very apparent that she wants to be on the farm. Melody is the city girl. And then, like, Ty says he's struggling to choose between the city girl. And then there's issues with Megan and the child thing, even though she says that's not a deal breaker. But he acts like, nah, she wants kids, and I don't want to rob her.
Well, and the funny thing is, Melody did too, right? She was like, if I want kids later, and I'm going to win that war, and we're going to have kids, So it was like both of them did, but he didn't mention that with Melody. But yeah, I don't know, man.
I just don't know about this one because he questions Melody being able to hang on the farm, even though she says she's willing to do it.
Yeah.
And then he questions Megan and the kids, and she's like, even though I'm willing to like put that aside for now and see how it goes. And it's not like you're asking either one to marry you. You're just continuing to date. Like, why would you not date?
And then he threw
Melody after this.
Yeah, and he threw that friend zone at her, and you could tell she was like, what the hell?
The friend zone is kind of like, well, you can't really date if you see this person kind of more as a friend. But, Melody, what's wrong with trying to date her after this?
Exactly.
Or at this point?
And again, I think it probably goes back to the kid thing again. Even though he did say, and he's in the last episode or the episode when he went to meet her family, he mentioned it then too. Like, look, I really don't think I can pull her out of this environment, But at the same time, at least date and see if it'll work,
Yeah, and he says to Megan that he's not 100% sure that she's his person.
Yeah.
So He wants to be 100%, and he doesn't want to rob her. And then Megan, this was a shock to her.
Oh yeah, and Megan did cry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Megan seemed like she really was blindsided by this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you kind of feeling bad for her there. I was like, damn.
It's a strong connection. That has been a connection that's been a friendship connection.
Got the friend zone, man.
So yeah, maybe Ty's playing more by the rules and not like giving them a heads up who he's going to choose, which maybe he should have, because it seemed like Megan was kind of questioning this, and he reassures her, and she's also kind of irritated about that because she's like, "Hey, I questioned this, but you always like reassured me, so that's how I'm here, and then you dumped me."
Yeah, I've got issues opening up to me, and I finally opened it up to you, and you gave me the reassurances, and yeah, she was not happy, man.
Yeah.
Ty doesn't pick Megan. I totally can understand this. She keeps saying that the kid thing is not an issue, but he can see that it is. It was obviously an issue when he talked to her mom. She kind of let him in on that. And I feel like Megan was just trying really hard to make it work and forget the things that were important just to make it work. And I think Ty saw that. So it makes total sense that he didn't choose her. And that's probably why she's so hurt by it. Melody, I mean, I think what shot Melody in the foot was the fact that she said, I don't think I want kids now, but if I decide I want them later, we're going to have them. And he's just dead set on not having kids, even though for some reason he's just not willing to put that out there. And so he just figures, why bother? And I think that's why he didn't choose her. But I guess he could have dated her to see.
Well, I mean, and he did say that. He was like, well, going into this, I thought maybe I'd be open and having kids. He was saying it to, I guess he was saying it to Megan, right? I thought I'd be open and having kids, but as longer as progressed, I've realized that I just really don't want kids. And it's like, bro, it's only been like 4 weeks or some shit.
Yeah, and it's
really,
like, man, that's a big decision, and that you're talking about like these women who want kids. That's just not going to work. So the show really kind of messed this up a little bit.
Oh, it totally did.
By not matching him with the proper women on this.
Yeah,
one.
either that or picking a different farmer.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it might have come back to that where she was kind of joking, but like she put that probably in his head, and he's just like, that's not a good thing for me. So, and I can't go forward with that. So, again, I don't know if him or them have had a fair shot at this, because that's just a major difference there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So this one kind of ends in like a bummer, and then I think they're trying to like now sell us with a good news story, and let's move on to Nathan.
To the easiest one of them all,
yeah,
right?
And according to our poll, that's what the numbers show, right? 83% of people, which is the highest one, chose Taylor over Allye, 17%. So
I think all three of us chose Taylor, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. And again, not a surprise. It almost looks like Allye was acting to this, like act surprised when he does this, but she didn't seem too impacted by it, I don't think either. No. So
I think I'm gonna have to go a different direction.
I felt it but couldn't say.
I guess Allye may have some aces up her sleeve, but it's not the winning hand this time for her. So
right.
But she's a pretty girl, and again, someone I was kind of rooting for, much like Kait, because she was kind of a slow burn and then started to turn it on near the end, but it may have been too little too late at that point. So.
Yeah, I think it was. And then we just, we never got that real good emotional connection between those two that we saw with him and Taylor. So I mean, I think it was a no-brainer on this one. Everybody knew how this one was going to go. I mean, the fact that if, even we had like 20-something people, 20% something choose Allye, I was surprised. I was like, man, I thought this would be like 90-something% for Taylor, but yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, Allye wishes him good luck, and then, these two were slowly falling in love.
That's right. That's what they both said.
He drops some L-bombs here.
Yeah.
So it's good to see.
Yeah, no, it was, man.
And I think, let's talk about all the couples now. I think this is probably the strongest one and has the ability to go the distance at all of them.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I mean, and I think Sydney and Mitchell got a pretty good shot,
Yeah, that's true. I could see that for sure.
And,
but they are also very young.
Right, exactly.
Well, I mean, Nathan's young too, so, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the least of them all, I think, is Brandon and Grace. Out of all of them, I think if anyone's got a better chance of not making it, is those two.
When you take the young into consideration, their age is young, but they are on different levels of maturity. Sydney is still very much a young 20-something-year-old who wants to go live a young and free life. And Mitchell's kind of like in between. Like I can see him liking that and wanting a little bit of that, but also wanting to settle down. Nathan's young, but he has like an old soul. He's ready to settle down. He wants to settle down. And I think Taylor is too. So that's why I think they match a little bit better. They seem older, even though they're still young.
Yeah.
I could see that.
So what do you think about Grace and Brandon?
If she can handle that basic isolation from her family and that social life, I think they stand a good chance. It's going to be a balance of how often she gets out to go see her family,
Yeah.
How do you think this like episode went down, the format? I mean, I feel like they should have built it up, had more like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed kind of.
No, yeah, well, it's like we said earlier. I mean, the very first one when they were cutting back and forth between the women, they should do that with all of them, right?
They should.
Because when they don't do that, and when they go to just talking to one woman, damn well that's the one that's going home, right?
Yeah, I just feel like they needed something leading up to this. Just have a whole episode where it's just two people kind of like choosing between the two. Like I feel like it needed something kind of leading into it. I'm not really sure what, but it needed to be a little bit more dramatic probably than what it is, or more of an epic thing. Again, like a lot of shows these days are ending with a wedding proposal. This one doesn't, so it's kind of like, what are the stakes really here at the end of the day as well? So
exactly.
That's what's contributing to it as well.
Yeah.
So someone had an idea of combining like Married at First Sight with this. I think that would probably be a more interesting show. You get 4 people, you pair them up, they're married, now they have to adjust to life on the farm or whatever. And I think that would add. I'd rather see more time with less women, I think.
Right.
And I think that would be more interesting than having all this confusion, like who's who and everything else. So
yeah, no, definitely like a Married First Sight version on the farm would be pretty damn cool. Yeah. Because right now this form just ain't working, man. At least the American. I mean, obviously it worked for the Australia version. It's been very successful in some of the other versions, but the American version just ain't really in this. I don't know. Again, we said it last week. I just don't think they have that kind of secret sauce for this one, and it's just it's dull.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like, there's more at stake at that point, and I also think that if they did that, they kind of weed out the people like Joy, or I don't know. I'm sure there were some others on here that are really just kind of on the show to get kind of noticed. If you're Married at First Sight in a farm version kind of situation, even though it's not at first sight, if the stakes are you're going to get married, I think you're going to filter out a lot of people who are just getting on there for fame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so I mean, they need to. We've kind of said this on the first season that they need to do something to change it up, and like they just really gave us more of the same this season.
Yeah,
and I get like they're like, oh well, people like this. It was something different, a little wholesome, but they needed to expand on it and take it in a little bit direction, and they kind of failed to do that.
Yeah,
I think,
and adding an extra girl just really didn't do anything.
I mean, I did like that twist at that point, so that was something, but
it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it needs more. I mean, I love like the wholesomeness and all this kind of stuff, but I just think they need more commitment and stuff from these people. And like, I think the producers did not the greatest job. I mean, we see it with Ty. They should have done something different there. And some of these farmers aren't like really true farmers either and stuff. Like these guys, they seem to like pluck them and almost make them farmers, which is like, how can you have the premise of a show, Farmer Wants a Wife, and then you'll be on your second season where you're scrounging for real farmers or cowboys or whatever.
In America.
Yeah,
so America.
It's
plenty
like,
of damn farmers out there.
Something's wrong with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do like the show. I just want to see it improve and get better.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they can do to polish this show up, and they need to do it fast because I mean, what are they gonna do? Just keep giving us this over and over again? It's gonna, I mean, there's no way in hell the show's gonna last much longer if they keep giving us seasons like this.
Yeah, I think even like The Bachelor, obviously they're on like the 40th season or whatever they're on. I mean, they're still using the formula, and I think shows like, Love Is Blind and stuff have far surpassed it at this point because they just haven't gotten with the times.
No, exactly.
So.
Well, there you have it, folks. That is another season of Farmer Wants a Wife down. But hey, we do have the reunion coming up here soon to
So-
find.
and they didn't have a reunion last year.
That's right, exactly. So there's the secret sauce. That's the new thing.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad to see Reba back, and I'm interested to see what
dude.
she says.
Dude,
so.
I'm totally looking forward to see what Reba says because in the previews they made it. It definitely showed that they're going to be talking about Joy. So I'm like, hell yeah, I got to see that. But hey guys, as always, we love doing this. We love talking about this with you. Let us know what you thought about this episode, about kind of the little twist there with Ty, him choosing nobody. And as always, guys, hit that like and subscribe. We will check y'all in our next review.